So guys, just read through some of the latest material released online about the Xbox One, and let's just say that, oh god, Microsoft, fuck you. Let's think about this for a second here. Microsoft have just released some extra information about the Xbox One and how it's going to function. Oh, that's my girlfriend in the background. And my god, they've actually made things worse. They've released some press materials related to how the Xbox One's functionality in regards to its always online internet connection, so on and so forth, use games, etc, etc. All of that they just released through their Xbox Wire website, and there was no big press release or anything of some sort, no major announcement. I think they were hoping that this would stay under the radar, but this being the internet, nah, no chance. And the initial reaction is, you know what, fuck you. Seriously, Microsoft, fuck you. I'm gonna tell you why you deserve that particular fuck you. Why? Because now you have created a situation whereby it is going to be impossible for you to get any gamers from this particular part of the world. Right now, if some of you have watched my previous Xbox One video, and that still stands simply because of all of the shit that they have actually trawled up, and put forward to people about their so-called, cloud-powered device and everything. Now let me just read out here a few bullet points from their press release that's been put on the news.xbox.com website, and I cannot believe that they have actually made these things features, when in actual fact all they are just restrictions. Alright, the thing that they have here is a new generation of games with power from the cloud, because every Xbox One owner has a broadband connection, and developers can create massive persistent worlds that evolve even when you're not playing. Now, a few problems with this. First of all, fuck you. Second of all, fuck you again. Why? Because if I wanted to play an offline game, if I want to play a football game with my brother in the house and everything, why the fuck would I need a persistent online world for? It doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. What's the point? Okay, if I wanted to play a single player RPG, what the fuck do I need the cloud for? Right, can you explain this to me? Can you explain the logic as to why I would need cloud computing if I'm just going to be playing Final Fantasy 17 or whatever it is on the Xbox One at home alone? What is the point with connecting me with other people when the reason why I play a single player game is so that I have a single player experience? Right? All this bullshit about massive persistent worlds, this is MMO territory already. And the thing is that people who buy MMOs want that massive persistent world to always be there. That's fine. It's a selling point for them. It is not a selling point for somebody who wants to have a solo experience. Why? Because you're making it about everything. Everything has to be online now. But why? I don't get it. I don't understand the rationale behind this, okay? If you're gonna tell me that, you want to offload rendering power to the cloud and whatnot, and so that the games will run smoother and all that stuff, you know what? That's lazy. That is lazy horseshit, okay? Now here's the thing. If we scroll through, all over Microsoft's technical details about their always online whatever thingy whatsoever, they're saying that they recommend a minimum of a 1.5 megabit per second connection in order to make the Xbox One online experience the best that it could possibly be. Minimum 1.5 megabits per second. Now, I'm gonna indulge in some math here, which is not my strong point, and you know what? Fuck you, Microsoft, for actually making me do math, okay, when it comes to games. Right, now look at this, 1.5 megabits per second. Now, as anybody who has ever used the internet will tell you, that 1.5 megabits per second is not available to you in its entirety. Okay, 1.5 megabits per second, if you downscale it, that's less than actually 1 megabyte per second throughput on its very best day. You want to filter that down some more? Okay, you're lucky to see what, 200, 300 kilobits per second? What amount of graphical assets, right, that you can tunnel, that you can transport through on this tiny little pipeline of information to some cloud computer elsewhere, right, that will be able to do it any rendering justice, any processing of AI, scripting, any of that sort, that can funnel down a connection, that takes up the size of a 2000 by 1000 size pixel JPEG. Okay, that's what 1 megabyte is. A high quality JPEG, that's all you do. So 1 high quality JPEG per second. What the flying fuck is the cloud going to be able to do with that sort of computing power, or lack thereof? I don't fucking understand it. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Okay? And that's not even like the dumbest thing that's associated with it. They've also talked more about their use games policy, right? Whereby they have clearly stated that, we're not gonna have, a fee. We're not gonna charge platform holders a they are the platform holder. Retailers, developers, publishers, we're not gonna charge them a fee for using used games. But you know what? Line stood out most? The ability to lend games, and rentals and all that will not be available at launch. Alright, so you know what? You got an Xbox One, your mate's got an Xbox One, or you buy different games because, hey, let's split it up. We don't have all the cash in the world to buy all the games that we want. Fair enough. You split that up, and wait, hang on a minute. You can't exchange discs on the very first fucking day. You know why? Because Microsoft says, fuck you! Fuck you and your, inability to buy more than one game at launch. Fuck you! Okay, repeatedly, I might add. Why? Because it gets better. The story gets even better. Well, now there's a situation that Microsoft say, you can lend used games, right, to your friends, but there's a catch, alright? And what is that particular catch? The catch is simple. They have to be on your friends list for a minimum of 30 days. That's the first restriction, okay? What's the second restriction? It gets even better. You can only loan games once. Once! Okay. Anyone else see the ridiculousness in this? I don't know. You know what? Hats off to your PR company, your PR agency, Microsoft, because you're fucking crazy, and you are batshit insane to have this sort of policy on used games. And of course, there is also I'll draw a simple example here with movies, with Blu-rays. Okay, imagine this: you've got a Blu-ray, it's Star Trek, whatever, right? And you've got a mate who's like, I'm not really sure about Star Trek. Can I borrow your disc? I want to watch it at home. Okay, you lend it to them, right? And they give it back to you the next day. Like, dude, wow, I fucking loved it. Right? I thought it was great. Can I borrow it again this weekend so that I could bring my girlfriend over? And you say yes, naturally, because, well, why not, right? It makes sense that they will want to see it. But according to Microsoft, you can't fucking do that, right? Because they've already borrowed it once, and that's it. It's a one-time deal. You can't lend it anymore to your friend. Can you imagine the uproar that would happen in the movie industry if this was the case? Can you imagine the shit that would rain down on them if this was allowed to happen? Right? It is the same principle. We buy content on disc. We want to consume it however we want. That includes games, I might add. And fuck you, Microsoft, for telling me who I can lend it to, and what I want to do with it on that disc. You know what this is? We are signing a contract, as Angry Joe said, to rent games from Microsoft with their permission. And, to end this, I'm just going to say one simple thing. Right, Microsoft, if you're going to persist with this, say bye-bye to this console generation. I pray to God, that Sony do not do the exact same thing. I sincerely hope that they are not this boneheaded about it. Alright, now if you guys did not know, there is a Twitter campaign right now that is actually happening. PS4 to have non-DRM on it, no region lock and everything. We want our games region free. We want, our games to be, to have that freedom to them, so that we're not restricted by all of these things. Okay, now, and you should campaign for it. Put a hashtag in your Twitter, PS4 no DRM, right? Address it to Shuhei Yoshida of Sony Worldwide Studios, and here's to hoping that he actually hears our concerns and actually makes sure about it. I mean, he's already come out and said that it's going to be a publisher-only thing. Sony does not require DRM of any sort, and we're just hoping that the publishers themselves are not going to screw us over at all. So yeah, sorry guys for the angry rant, but it just had to come out. I cannot believe that Microsoft are so intent on screwing over their customer base like this. And it just doesn't make any sense at all, anything it is that they're doing. Right? If you've got any comments that you want to offer me, you want to offer some feedback and whatnot, and tell me what you want Microsoft to do, because hey, I know I'm not in a position to do anything, but I guess big corporations eventually, if enough of us scream, they will actually listen, right? I don't want Microsoft to fail. I really don't. Why? Because I want them to push Sony. I want them to make Sony a better gaming company. And that's what they did with the Xbox 360. They made Sony wake up and realize that the arrogance which characterized the launch of the PS3 was not going to work for them for the PS4. And whoop-de-fucking-do, look what they've done, right? PS4, it looks better and better with each passing day. All we need to do now is see what happens for us at E3. And of course, props, alright, to Muscle Machine for providing today's soundtrack. It is called the Tom Waits Tap Dance, right? Find it in the link below on their SoundCloud. And once again, thank you for watching.